Hey, this is BrindeWolf.
And I'm Lunaria.
You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action.
We're here to spark your growth, lift your spirit, and help you crush your potential.
Rise Awakenings, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken. Rise Awakening, now is the time.
Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.
Bye. All right. Tonight, I pulled from the Egyptian Book of the Dead Oracle, and I'll have to tell you a story about the first card after I finish the reading, maybe in my message later on. But we're going to start off with Ptah. If you've had a vision of creating something, the time has come for you to begin exploring it. It's been nudging you for a while. There's something that you've been wanting to try, but haven't yet because you're uncertain whether or not you'll be good at it. Doesn't matter what form of creativity it is. It's something that you've been putting off because life keeps getting in the way. Whether this nudge is to pursue the creativity as a hobby or as a release from the drudgery of day-to-day life, it just won't let you rest. And the anger you feel about not having the time, that's not always from the situations around you preventing you from exploring it. You have more control over it than you think. And someone out there needs what you can create. It's also a form of expression that's been missing in your life. Oh, and it will be messy and imperfect at first, but you'll get there eventually if you make time for it. Then we hear from the mourner. On the heels of Ptah, you may be thinking that it's too late in life to begin some fantasy calling that lies within. You may not be able to do things like you used to, but you certainly have the capability of doing something. And the sooner you give yourself permission to start, the sooner you'll begin to fill that void you've been feeling for years. Speaking of the void, when we lose something or someone, there is a void inside that needs to be filled, an emptiness that creates a feeling of sadness. This can be a loss of any kind, but keep pushing through and allowing the universe to fill that void with something fresh and new. Grief has only the timeline we place on it. Sounds a bit cold, but if you are hearing this, you are still with life and opportunity to pass through this. You're not done yet, but I could almost guarantee that sitting in the void only prolongs the suffering. Baby step your way out. Then we have Wadjet. As you begin to shed the skin of the past, you're being asked to follow your instincts and internal wisdom. Trust your gut more. This is an additional message to what you've already heard. Can't always trust your logical mind as it will try to work things out. It will also shame you if you have a gut instinct that you don't follow that turned out to be right. This particular human experience is too common. But if you begin listening to that internal guidance system and trusting it through the rough and the easy, you'll see that you're getting to where you want to a little more quickly. Then we have Nut. And it's a perfect card to pull on the night of a full moon. There's always something magical about seeing it in the nighttime sky, regardless of what you believe. Nut is the card of dreams and wishes. When the sky grows dark and dream time approaches, many will find that they have trouble falling asleep because their mind won't slow down from the day and carries the feelings that have been unresolved into the forward consciousness. But what if you change that? Can't fix anything as you lie down. What if you asked for clarity in your dreams to be able to find the answers you seek? You may not remember your dreams specifically, but giving the mind the opportunity to wish and throw out intentions might help you find sleep, relax, and rest easier. Oh, and take a moment to give gratitude for the gift of the day you got to open and for the one not yet received. You did your best today, and you'll continue tomorrow. Seth, and it's a great follow-up to Nut. Hard to find calm amidst the chaos, and this is something that keeps you up at night. The not knowing when the next shoe will drop. But if you're constantly worried about this happening, you're actually inviting more chaos to disrupt your life. If you have a plan in place for when things might fall apart, it will make space in your consciousness to not feel so stressed about it. But what if you're already in the throes of this? Do what you can. Resisting a storm only makes it worse. Dance in the rain, and it will pass sooner. Amulet. A card of protection and warning. If you are questioning the integrity of someone right now, there's probably good reason behind it. Your natural wisdom is trying to tell you to be cautious, and it would be a good thing to listen. Even if it's a longtime companion or friend, if something feels off, it probably is. Protect yourself from deceit by trusting your instincts. The image of a document comes to mind that needs to be signed. Make sure the fine print is read, questioned, and understood before signing the contract. Whether this is a metaphor or an actual, there's a few that need that warning. Finally, we have Hathor. This has been a pretty stressful reading so far, so it's no surprise that she's coming up to tell you to lighten up a bit and have some damn fun. Make time for family. Make time for you. Unless something significant happens in this world, there will always be bills to pay. Continuously stressing over them only makes things worse. It changes the ability to have a happy dynamic around you. Do something for you, even if it's dropping a quarter in the gumball machine like you used to do as a child. Remember that? How excited you were when you got to fumble with untrained dexterity, placing the coin in the slot and twisting the dial? Yeah, that feeling.
All right, guys, we are starting this love and relationship reading. He tried to mute my mic just a minute ago. He is messing with me, and you guys don't even know it. Okay. We're starting this reading with the Emperor. This is the present situation that you are in. You're stepping into your I said what I said era. We've had this one before. You built your walls higher than your heels because you've been through it, and now you're calling the shots. The Emperor in love says that you're craving something real. Structure, commitment, someone who actually shows up. Be careful not to get too controlling or rigid, though. Love isn't a business deal. Drop the clipboard. You can lead without micromanaging. The right one will meet your standards without you needing to issue a memo to them. All right, in the challenge position, what is crossing you at the moment, we have the Five of Pentacles. The left out in the cold card. You've either been ghosted, emotionally abandoned, or you're still carrying that I'm not enough energy from someone who couldn't meet you halfway. This card screams emotional scarcity mindset. Stop accepting crumbs and calling it a meal. You're the whole package, babe. Get back into your self-worth lane and remember that rejection is often divine protection. In other words, sometimes the divine steps in and ends something for you, even though it may feel painful. All right. In the foundation, we have the Ten of Cups. At your core, you still believe in love. The dream is still alive, no matter how many frogs have croaked in your direction. You want the fairy tale, the family, the loyalty, the soft place to land. This card says your heart is pure and still open under that armor. Keep the dream, but ground yourself. Idealism is sweet, but don't let it blind you to the red flags. Love can be magical if it's mature. Okay. In your past influences, the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Someone stopped putting in the work in your relationship. You may have given all to a connection while the other person clocked out emotionally. This card hints at a past where effort wasn't matched and you were left picking up the pieces. Don't overinvest in people who relationships should not be one-sided. All right. In your conscious goal, judgment, you're having a big spiritual glow-up moment. You're evaluating past patterns, asking, why do I always attract the same energy? And realizing it's time for a new chapter. Judgment calls you to forgive yourself and release the ghosts of the ex's past and let them rise away while you rise up. Let go of what you used to love and what you used to tolerate. You're not that version of yourself anymore. You've evolved, so let your standards evolve with you. All right, in the near future, you have the Nine of Pentacles. This is someone who moves slowly but with purpose. The next romantic situation is about stability, not sparks that fizzle. It may feel boring at first, but this person is the one who actually texts back, remembers your coffee order, and means what they say. The slow burn, remember, often leads to the most lasting warmth. All right, in your attitude, we've got the Ace of Swords. You finally cut through the fog. You're done with the mixed signals and the half truths. The Ace of Swords says your mind is sharp, maybe a little too sharp sometimes. You want clarity or nothing at all. Speak your truth, but with tact. Don't swing the sword just to prove you can cut. Use it to carve out honesty and mutual understanding. All right. In your external influences, you have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Someone around you, potentially your partner, is out of balance. This could be a love interest too focused on themselves, their money, or their comfort to give emotionally. Or it could mirror you giving too much and running on empty. Reclaim your energy. You can't nurture others if you're starving yourself emotionally. Remember always to pour into your own cup. Luxury and self-love first. All right. In your hopes and fears, we have the Knight of Swords reversed. You fear attracting another reckless, emotionally unavailable type who comes in hot and leaves you with whiplash, and rightfully so. You've dealt with charmers who talk a big game but can't back it up. Don't mistake intensity for intimacy. Protect your peace. Let people earn access to you, not just rush the gate with sweet words. All right, and last but not least, in the outcome, and I love this card, the High Priestess. And here it is, the ultimate mic drop. The High Priestess is your intuition whispering. You already know. You've learned the lesson, you've seen the patterns, and now it's time to trust your gut. The next chapter of your love life will unfold naturally. No forcing, no chasing, no proving. Sit pretty in knowing the right one will feel aligned, calm, and connected, not confusing. Your intuition is your best lie detector. Use it. You're shedding old love patterns like a snake dropping last season's skin. You've moved from chaos to clarity, from chasing to choosing. The universe is handing you the pen and saying you need to write your own story. You're stepping into love that's stable, soulful, and worthy of your evolved energy. But only once you stop settling for less and start honoring your inner empress to match that emperor energy. And that is all.
I don't know about anybody else, but I feel called out.
I got called out too a few times. Everybody got called out a little bit, even if they're not in love.
All right, so interesting. Because I never know where the inspiration is going to come for the alpha message each week when I do it. And today it came while I was taking a walk. And I was noticing that my eyes are really in need of a new prescription because the images in the world that I was seeing was starting to get a little blurry. I was like, yeah, it's starting to get a little fuzzy. And I hear this odd statement said to me in my head. Sometimes we need to see the world fuzzy because we need to be able to see the imperfections and appreciate them more. And I was like, oh. Because we spend so much time. Michael just distracted me because I looked away, looked at the chat, and he was like, you never answered my question. Not now, Michael, you're throwing me off. I'm going to close the chat. I don't want to see you guys right now. No offense. But speaking of seeing things, when you are so focused on trying to make things perfect, seeing things perfect, looking perfect, you lose the point and can lose yourself in the process. I mean, anybody who has spent hours trying to make a song work, when you got it right the first time, but you missed one note and you were like, nope, got to redo it. And instead of leaving that imperfection in, which actually made it perfect, you went back and back and back. So sometimes let the world be a little bit fuzzy. Trust your gut a little bit more, like the reading said earlier. Trust what the body has no filters. It doesn't have the programming to siphon and sort and logic out. It just knows. And as uncomfortable as whatever the decision is that it leads you to, 99.99999% of the time, it's what needs to happen and what you need to do. So remember that in your search for perfect, that the imperfect is probably more what you're needing to remember. And when you remember the imperfect, and that you are perfect in your imperfections, and the world is perfect in its imperfections, that might be enough.
OMG. It is just too bizarre how, okay. We'll find out when I do my message.
All right, Steve, I'll have a great night. I opened up the chat again, but I was like,
Okay.
I'll go away, and I gotta do a few other things as well.
I want to talk about my haircut. I am. I totally am. I'm going to talk about how I cut my hair today. Actually, there's a reason I'm going to talk about how I cut my hair today. Why I cut my hair today. All right, so I realized, my ends of my hair getting kind of, frizzy and, beat up. And, so I decided to go cut my hair. And as I'm in there trimming, the ends of my hair, I remembered something from my past. Not past ex. This was a while ago. You guys will remember the narcissist. But anyway, I remember one time when I trimmed my hair when I was living with him, and he came home and came out of the bathroom and said, "I see you cut your hair today." I'm like, "Yeah, I trimmed the ends of my hair today." And he said, "I don't ever want to see your hair anywhere ever again other than on your head. Do not cut your hair. Like, you don't have permission to trim your hair." And I remembered then, yes, I stupidly spoke to this person again after I left him. And he came by my house one day, my old apartment that I lived in, and went in my bathroom to use my bathroom and came out and said, "I see you trimmed your hair again." And that was the moment when I was like, get the fuck out. Just go. No one's going to tell me that I can't trim my hair when it needs trimming. And I remember telling myself today, as I'm cutting my hair, I'm saying to myself, thank God you learned your lesson from that and you got the hell out of there. And and then I looked again and I went, but Karrie, why is your hair kind of frizzy right now? Why are the ends so dry when they're normally not that dry? Why is so dry right now? It's because you colored your hair. For the longest time, you enjoyed that salt and pepper and you were fine with it. Till you met somebody and you thought you had to look younger for them, so you went and dyed your hair. And that is why, 8 months later, since I did, my hair's still dried out. And I went, maybe you didn't learn quite as much as you needed to learn. Because why did you do that? Why? Because the ex he had before me was half his age, half my age. I thought I needed to look younger to get this man's attention because I wasn't getting the attention that I needed from him. So what did I do? I tried to change me on the outside. Why? Why would you do that? Why would anybody do that? Why do men worry about their balding heads or their receding hairlines? Why that same ex from the one that told me not to cut my hair was so vain that he was bald. He had a golf cap he smoked, and he had a golf cap. He would go outside to smoke a cigarette. He would not walk out that front door, even onto the porch, without that hat on his head, because God forbid anybody see that he is balding. We all age. We all change. We don't stay 30 years old forever. And if that's what he needed was for me to look 30, which I never will, why would I want that in my life? Don't try to change yourself on the outside. What matters is on the inside. What happens if that 30-year-old that this men are chasing, 60-year-old men are chasing, what if these girls half their age are in a car accident and they're mangled? Are you leaving them too because they're not perfect anymore? What kind of love is that? That isn't love. Love isn't here. Yes, you have to be attracted to someone on the outside as well. But when you meet somebody and they ask you out because they're attracted to you, you go out with them, you're attracted to them, you start dating, and then you all of a sudden you think you have to change how you look for them. That's wrong. The love is on the inside. The love should be about who you are. You can give to somebody in a loving, caring, I feel for you from the inside out manner. It's not what's on the outside that matters most. It's what's on the inside. And if they don't love what's on the inside and expect you to change on the outside, it's not going to matter. And somebody who loves you on the inside would not want you to change who you are on the outside. They just love you because you're you. And that's what matters. The stuff that, the image, the things Michka was talking about, it inside. Let's focus on the inside. That's all I have for tonight.